Hello. Still don't know how to start streams or videos or anything like that. Still have zero idea how you're supposed to go about that. Hello. Today, we will be hopefully, definitely, most certainly finishing Case 3, Ace Attorney Investigations 2. It's been... Wait, where's the game? I thought I set all this up. Where's the game? This one. There we go. It's been so many streams of this game. How many streams have I done of this game at this point? Because it's been a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 streams for this single case so far. Surely we'll finish it today. I almost said today. Surely today's the day that we finish it. Surely. They wouldn't... I wouldn't have to do a 7th stream of this game. Alright. April 2nd, 3:11 p.m., Zodiac Hall, Fountain Room. And Miss Bound, are you feeling a little calmer now? Yes. Good. Then allow me to get to the point. Regardless of your intentions, you broke the law. Yes, I understand. Nevertheless, I understand that you did what you did in order to prove Mr. Tangro's innocence. Therefore, if the real culprit really is someone else, then we have a duty to reinvestigate the case.
Overruled.
There is nothing to suggest that anything nefarious took place in the official IS-7 incident records. Girl, we were literally missing the body! The body was literally gone! For, what, 20 years? Was it 20 years or something like that? And right now, there's nothing to suggest that we should take Miss Bound at her word either. So our first order of business should be to arrest the culprit of the case before us. Miss Bound herself.
Objection!
Official records cannot always be trusted, Judge Gavel. Especially since there are those prosecutors who would think nothing of twisting the facts.
Overruled.
Are you suggesting that the committee at the time overlooked such a prosecutor? Girl, we know the committee overlooked such a prosecutor. Manfred von Karma was literally wreaking havoc for like 50 years. That is for you and your people to figure out. However, it is a fact that the autopsy report was faked. Seeing as Mr. Frost's body was only found just now. He makes a point. There really is something of Mr. Von Karma in you, Mr. Edgeworth. How so, exactly? By continually defying the will of the committee and bending the truth to fit your needs. That's how. So you admit that there is someone breaking the rules! And that someone was also the one who investigated this case! Verity, you're making it really hard for me to defend you, girl. Perhaps it is time that you understand how the committee sees this case. The committee's view. The committee is willing to accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified Mr. Frost's autopsy report. Even still, Mr. Von Karma only managed to have Mr. Tangro convicted as an accomplice. I personally have come to believe that the real culprit behind the IS-7 incident is Miss Bound. Her plan to poison and kill Mr. Cousteau today was her attempt to frame him for Mr. Frost's murder. And this is how the committee sees things, is it? It is. As always, I act solely on the service of the law and order. Von Karma would smell like mothballs. It sounds to me like all she's doing is acting in service of the committee and covering up the truth. And if I can't change her mind, there will be no saving Mr. Tangro or Miss Bound. Okay, the committee's view. The committee is willing to accept. That is reason enough to reinvestigate this case. The fact that we have one prosecutor who admitted on stand that A, he murdered someone, B, he murdered a second person, or like was involved in the murdering of a second person, and C, he falsified evidence. And D, he like tased people. Let's not forget that. And like, I think every case he's ever worked on should be reinvestigated. I think step one, after arresting Manfred von Karma, should be reinvestigating every single case he ever touched. That should be step one. Step two would be investigating anyone who let von Karma do the things he did. And then step three would be like firing anyone who let von Karma do the things he did. But like, we should definitely be reinvestigating the IS-7 incident. I mean, you're not wrong. You're unfortunately not wrong. Okay, even still, Mr. von Karma only managed to have Mr. Tango convicted as an accomplice. I personally have come to believe that the real culprit behind the IS-7 incident is Miss Bound. Her plan to poison and kill Mr. Gusto today was her attempt to frame him for the murder of Mr. Frost. Okay, so I have two things I want to press here. Or, like, I have two complaints with her testimony. The complaint number one is that she said she's speaking on what the whole committee thinks, right? Yet here she says, I personally. So she's like misrepresenting the rest of the committee. And then B, how would this frame Gusto? In what way does this end up framing Gusto? Alright.
Hold it!
Are you suggesting that Mr. Tangro and Miss Bound killed Mr. Frost together? Why not? You could even imagine that they split their roles as thus. Mr. Tangro could have been the one to commit the act itself, while Miss Bound was to remove the body. What? I thought that we could ever kill Mr. Frost. You stole his corpse and hid it for 18 years. Is it really so suspecting that you... Jesus Christ! Everyone give me a minute to talk here! Is it really so surprising that you might be considered a suspect as a result? Miss Bound has freely confessed to all of her crimes. Now is not the time to speculate about what else she might have done in the past. Very well. Then let us pass judgment on what we know she did in the present. Okay, again, I'm gonna press this. How would this frame him? And why would Miss Bound have chosen to frame Mr. Gusto for the murder? No doubt because he suspected her of being the real culprit. He may have entered what he thought was the Winter Wing simply to see if the Gemini statue was genuine. Little did he know that he would be greeted by a trap designed to silence him. A trap that nearly worked.
Objection!
Do you have any evidence to support that line of reasoning? Unfortunately, Mr. Gusto remains in critical condition. It would be difficult to prove anything until he regains consciousness. In other words, there is little we can do for now. That would be a lot of Von Karma insults. I think you've made a lot of Von Karma insults over the past 6 streams, including this one, that we've done of this game. On the contrary, there's plenty we can do. You still have not grasped the situation, have you? Then allow me to spell it out for you. Oh, hey, wow, we got... Is that 2 more... statements? We have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas attack. We therefore have determined that there is no need to investigate either case further. Do we have all the evidence? I we do?
Hold it!
All the evidence you need.
In the matter of the IS-7 incident, we have a body, a murder weapon, and 2 suspects.
Just because you have suspects does not mean they're guilty. Look at every single Ace Attorney case before this one, except Mad on Guard. Look at every Ace Attorney suspect before this, minus Mad on Guard. Do not add him into your pile of consideration because he was guilty. But every other suspect we've ever had has been innocent.
As for the poison gas attack, we have the source of the 2 chemicals and Miss Brown's confession. As for you, Mr. Edgeworth, we also have enough evidence to see that you yourself will have to answer to the committee in a formal hearing.
What?
Whoa! What? That doesn't sound good.
Don't worry, Miles Roney. If nothing else, you're always more than welcome at Edgeworth & Co. Von Karma would believe in eugenics. You're right. Ugh. Your Honor, I'd greatly appreciate if we could stay focused on the matter at hand.
Of course. Now where was I?
We have therefore... Okay, well, I'd like to investigate the case more. And now you really need to assert that there's no loose ends left to investigate. None at all.
All of the evidence has been examined at length, and there's nothing more to be learned from them.
Have we even done an autopsy on the body yet? Have we done an autopsy on the body? Though, I mean, it's been however long, that body should be mush by now. But since it's seemingly still intact, can we do an autopsy on the body? Hello! And secondly, like, we have zero evidence! Like, we have nothing here, girl.
Therefore, I see no need to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant, Miss Judy Bound.
Your Honor, I'm certain there is something that still needs to be examined. The body! Do an autopsy on the body! I beg of you! Oh! Von Karma's marriage ended in divorce like 10 years ago, I assure you.
The hammer is about to fall, Mr. Edgeworth. Only hard evidence can stop it now. Present what you think requires further deliberation. Now, assuming there really is anything left, that is.
This isn't over yet. Not by a long shot. There's still one thing we don't have an answer to. And it's up to me to point it out to Judge Gavel. Okay, so I'm assuming we need to prevent on this. What haven't we looked into yet? So it's not our badge. It would not be the case files. It's not the pamphlet. I don't think it's going to be the photo. There are signs that it was used before the police arrived, possibly to heat something. I think we know firmly what the blowtorch had been used for. No, yeah, none of this is a proper trial. I figured there was more interesting things to point out, but yeah, this isn't a proper trial. There is zero the judge is here, but she's also acting as prosecutor, which is a conflict of interest. There's no jury, though trials in the Ace Attorney universe don't seem to rely on juries unless, of course, we're talking about the single case from Apollo Justice. But we're not talking about the single case from Apollo Justice because it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, no, it's a mess. Honestly, I'd be like, sure, take Judy in as a suspect, and then I'll defend her ass in an actual court and murder you. Yeah, no, we know everything with the tarp. Sketch, poison gas, the ultimate cookbook. Oh, wait. Wait, we don't know anything about the finger marks, right? We literally just know they were left in the frame in Tangro's room in the IS-7 incident. But we don't know whose they are or why they're there. Because that was the frame that was holding the ultimate cookbook, right? I wonder if this ultimate cookbook is a fake.
Objection!
I thought I was on something there. There's a clear contradiction in your testimony, Judge Gavel.
Silence. Such a statement will not be tolerated by this court.
And why not? What precisely is wrong with my statement?
For one thing, the fact that you clearly do not believe it yourself.
Was it that obvious? Okay, listen, I believed what I was gonna say, okay? I fully believed I was on something there. I'm going to have to be more careful next time. Okay. Photograph of the murder weapon from the I-7 incident. Would it be the family photo? That doesn't seem like it's the photo. Teapot, lift cart, sketches, chocolate. Gemini case analysis results, salt, sugar, blood. Sugar, be more careful, and I'm completely fine.
Objection!
I have the health. I have the health to spare. I'm just gonna throw some things because I literally don't know what I. Maybe we're not supposed to present, and the game is just trolling us. Would you care to revise your testimony at all, Judge Gavel?
No. Why? Do you believe that there's something wrong with it?
Many things. Well, no, nothing seems out of the place.
Then perhaps you could refrain from insinuating otherwise?
Well, that blew up in my face. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna press everything, I guess. Yep, nope, it's time for random bullshit. Okay.
Hold it!
If you accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified the report, then why won't you reinvestigate the case?
Because the goddess of justice is never wrong.
Verity, I love you. You are incredibly hot. Girl, what the fuck?
Her verdict remains true despite Mr. Von Karma.
Oh, hi, Eddie. Despite blatant evidence tampering, you sure your precious goddess is into that? It almost makes you think the committee might have other reasons for not wanting this looked into again.
Further investigation is simply unnecessary since the goddess of justice has already spoken.
Girl, cases get reinvestigated constantly. Is that right?
Hold it!
I believe it was a confession that sealed Mr. Tangro's fate in the end. A confession secured by Mr. Von Karma, which should surely cast doubt on the final verdict itself.
Overruled!
Samson Tangro confessed to the initial investigating officer. One Detective Ian Sideman.
Inside Man? I don't think we should trust the man named Inside Man. I don't think I trust that man.
The official records state that it was his interrogations that led to the conviction.
Yeah, how long did those interrogations interrogations go on for, I'm wondering? I'm wondering how long those interrogations lasted. Was Tangrowth provided proper breaks throughout them? Was he provided the food and water? Or was it a forced confession? I wonder.
Therefore, all I can say to you is that the goddess of justice has already spoken.
Unbelievable. She just won't budge at all. Are these committee guys really that big of a deal? In many ways, they are a prosecutor's worst nightmare. So, kind of like how the police are to a great thief. It's funny how you don't seem to have a problem working with the police when it suits you, though. Ugh. Okay. Okay, so I guess it is preventing. But what do I prevent here? What needs to be prevented? What haven't we done anything with? It's not... Okay, it's not the chocolate. We use that to explain... Oh, we use that in like, with the lift cart to explain that she was using the lift cart to transport something. No, we need New Blood and Riosli to come fix all of this. Oh. Am I gonna call out that the statutes of limitations have passed and that like we can't prosecute Judy because the statutes of limitation has passed even though murders don't have statutes of limitations?
Objection!
Fuck. There's a clear contradiction in your testimony, Judge Gavel.
Silence. Such a statement will not be tolerated by this court.
Then why not? What precisely is wrong with my statement?
For one thing, the fact that you clearly did not believe it yourself.
The cookbook was explained. We used the cookbook to explain how Judy knew how to make the poison. Or, like, how people knew to make the poison. Because there's apparently a recipe for creating poison in the cookbook. I was about to ask, how mad would we be if I opened a walkthrough? Because I really don't know what to prevent here. And, like, I'd like to get through this case so we can start the fourth case. But, like, oof. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna check a walkthrough quick. Case, attorney, investigations, walkthrough. I need the second candle. Yeah, I'm gonna look at a walkthrough quick. Give me a second. Turnabout. We're on Turnabout Legacy, right? Yeah. What part of... can I not check what part of the case we're on right now? Okay, cool, I'll guess. We have to be on end part 3, right? Oh, we are. Oh, hey, we're almost done. Okay, press the fourth statement. Yep. Present the Gemini case analysis. Sure. Okay. That works. We can do that. Okay. So... the Gemini case analysis results. I guess it makes sense because we just got it, so we haven't actually looked into it yet. But I think it's stupid. I like my theory better. How did I turn on the eyes for my cat? Which button did I accidentally press there? How do I turn them off? I Nope, that just makes the cat go away. Um Here's where we learn that I actually forgot my keybinds for the cat. There we go. There we go. We got back to normal lives. I'm afraid there is still one question concerning the IS-7 incident that remains unanswered, Your Honor. Would you mind taking a look at this? What is it? They're test results, carried out on the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case in the Winter Wing. As you can see, traces of blood were detected. I guess the blood is suspicious. Okay. That's on me for not reading good. The question is, whose? Until that question is answered, I hardly think you can claim to have all the evidence. There was blood in the Gemini case? Why did I not hear about this from Sebastian? Because Detective Gumshoe informed me of the results directly. I was planning to tell Mr. DeBest about it myself, of course.
Overruled.
You kept this to yourself until now? Despite having no jurisdiction here whatsoever? Mark my words, the committee will hear about what you have done here today. As ever, my interest is in the truth, and if mistakes were made in the past, they must be rectified. If you must report me to the committee, then so be it. But in return, we must be allowed to investigate this case to the very end. That's not my decision to make. We will need to discuss it with Sebastian. Okay, can we discuss it with Sebastian with you on the other side of the world? Yeah, go to the other side of the world real quick, Gavel. No, can you stand on the other side of the room while we talk to Sebastian? Because you seem to like to influence the direction he takes and things. What voice was I doing for Sebastian? No, I don't remember. Guess who's back? Guess who's back, losers? And with good news, too. Hey, he's alive! He survived! Hey, he's not dead! It was a close call for a minute there, but Carmelo Gusto is alive. Gusto. He made it? Oh, shit. What voice was I giving him? That was months ago. What voice was I giving Gusto? I have zero memories of the voices I was doing for him. I'm gonna take a drink of water quick and then figure it out. Yeah, we're taking away Courtney's visitation rights to see Sebastian. Just gonna do like a deep voice or something. You're the ones who found me. Yep. Long time no see, Gusto. You're the attorney's assistant. You've grown, and you have an assistant of your own now? Assistant? No, I'm... He hasn't gotten the gig yet. This is Gregory Edgeworth's son. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, at your service. Fate moves in mysterious ways. I'm in your debt. If you hadn't found me in time, I wouldn't be here to thank you. Oh, you are very welcome. After all, if you hadn't lived, we wouldn't be able to ask you what really happened 18 years ago.
What are you talking about? I do have questions about the dough he's using. How are you able to inflate and deflate it repeatedly without it losing any of its consistency? We figured out quite a bit while you were out cold, including the fact that you're probably the guy who opted for already frost. Yeah, how does that work? I've never seen dough like that before. What? Is that true? Miss Bound set up a very elaborate trap to catch Mr. Frost's murderer. A trap that involved rigging the Pisces case with poison gas. Perhaps in light of that fact, you could tell us in your own words what happened back then. Yeah, why did you try to kill your boyfriend? Oh, the Pride Month is over, so now he's allowed to be mean and murder his boyfriend. Drats, we figured it out. Or perhaps you'd rather exercise your right to remain silent. No, it's not that. Gusta here's a fan of the old meditation, you know, amen and all that jazz. Whoa. Sleeping while standing seems pretty cool. That's one heck of a talent. Except there's no sleeping involved in meditation, Kay. Hey, Gusto, old pal. How about you snap out of it and tell us what went down way back when? I was caught in the girl's trap, so I must be the killer. Is that your idea of a joke? I'm the victim here.
Indeed you are, Mr. Gusto, and there is no evidence that you have done anything wrong yet. Mr. Edgeworth and Mr. Fender are merely speculating. Rest assured that they have no authority here and that you may pay them no heed.
At least somebody here seems to be on my side.
Judge Verity Gavel, it's a pleasure, Mr. Gusto. I will assist you in any way that you may require.
You're the judge! You shouldn't be doing that! This is a whole conflict of interest. I know the, like, normal judge is incompetent at his job. But, like, at least he did his job.
Perhaps you could begin by explaining what actually happened 18 years ago to Mr. Edgeworth.
Ugh. Fine. You want me to prove I'm innocent, Mr. Prosecutor? I'll be happy to.
Objection!
So, this is how you mean to play it, Judge Gavel. You're hoping Mr. Gusto will help you hide what happened instead of trying to correct the record.
I believe only in the infallible judgment of the goddess of justice.
Except it is us humans who make the actual judgment. Called in a court of law. And so, as long as there are those who would use the law to their advantage, our rulings are valuable indeed. If you would use your position to further obscure the truth, then neither she nor I will forgive you. Yeah, also, I want to say, I don't think the usual judge is calling upon the goddess of justice all that often. he seems to make rulings based off of what he feels at any given moment. Ugh. Apologies, I got real stuffy all of a sudden. I've been feeling fine all day, and then I start talking a lot, and I don't. And I get stuffy. That's not fair.
We shall see about that.
What do you advise, Judge Gavel? Wait, no, she's a judge. She shouldn't be giving you, she shouldn't be playing legal consultant here.
It would seem that you are under suspicion because it was you who triggered the poison gas trap. Specifically by opening the Pisces case lid. Would you be so kind as to share with us why?
Understood. I came to see Frost's sculptures. Simple as that. Then why did you bring a blowtorch? I made a mistake with the opening times and arrived half an hour early. Miss Bound, was there no one at the reception desk around that time?
I had left the main entrance guarded and unlocked, just in case the killer made an appearance. I was also busy making preparations elsewhere, all the way up until the gallery opening. So no, there was no one here on the first floor then. But I did make sure that all the wings were locked up tight. All except the autumn wing, that is.
I see. She did all that just to steer the culprit into the autumn wing, which is precisely where Mr. Gusto went.
Sneaking into
I can't talk all of a sudden. Wow.
Sneaking into a building's pretty suspicious.
However you slice it, says the great thief.
Silence in the courtroom. I will permit no objections or interventions unless there's some evidence that the witness is lying.
The courtroom? You know this is an art gallery, right?
Mr. Gusto, if you could please continue by explaining why you opened the Precious case.
I wanted to see Frost's work up close. So I went up to the Gemini. Sorry, I guess it was supposed to be the Pisces statue. And saw that the lid was frozen on tight. So I grabbed a blowtorch from nearby and tried to open it. When I finally got it open, gas came pouring out. Yeah, Kay took all the brain cells for a minute here. Fascinating. His is the sort of flawless testimony attorneys can only dream of.
Yeah, the everything sounds like a lie kind.
Kay's killing it this case. I love her so much.
I am none too satisfied with Mr. Gusto's explanation myself. Alas, there is no evidence to refute it.
Come on!
There must be something!
It's Bound's story you should be questioning, not mine. I'm not the one who set up the gas trap. She could have killed anybody with that thing.
Objection!
She turned on the sprinklers as soon as the gas was released. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was gunning for the killer and nobody else. That killer being you, old pal. So you believe that self-confessed criminal? Miss Bound is far from blameless in this affair, and she will have to pay for her crimes. But so will Mr. Frost's killer. You seem determined to pin Frost's murder on me. Well, I mean, you're like the only one here who could do it. It's not Fender or Larry, obviously. Delicia had an alibi. It obviously wasn't Gumshoe, K, or Gavel. It wasn't Tangro. It wasn't Frost himself, and it wasn't Sebastian. And Judy has her, like, she's explained her reasoning for doing things. You're literally the only other new character we have. It kind of has to be you at this point, dude. But I had no reason to kill him. And you have no evidence to prove otherwise.
Can we really not prove that he's the killer, Mr. Edgeworth?
Mr. Gusto fell victim to the poison gas. That much is indisputable. Yet, no matter how suspicious his actions in the present may seem, they prove nothing about the past.
Yeah, but then what about you, Mr. Fender? There must be something we can do.
You're right. We may not have evidence, but we have plenty of intel. Let's see now. If Gusto killed Frost, he must have had a reason. He claims to not have a motive, but that can't really be called true, can it? If he did it, he has one. Not many people commit murder just for fun. In fact, your old man had a little back and forth with On Karma about a probable motive, too, remember? How can you possibly say that without any certainty? If the relationship had broken down for some reason, that could have very well been the motive behind this murder. They had a bad breakup, guys. They had a bad breakup. Von Karma wouldn't let us talk to Gusto back then, but we can now. If we put the pieces together, I think the picture we've been looking for might just emerge. Yes, I think you might be right. I need to think back over everything we know about the IS-7 incident. Especially the questions that never got answered. It must have been a real messy breakup to result in murder. And the finger marks. Were you the one wearing the gloves? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot because it was literally 4 months ago. The finger marks on the frame were from Delicia eating everything. Oh wait, no, they weren't. Okay, hey, I was right. That we hadn't learned what the marks were. Miss Scone denied that the finger marks on the frame were hers. But what if they were Mr. Gusto's? Perhaps he had wanted to take a look through the ultimate cookbook for himself. So he asked me to go put in a new cartridge. He seemed to think that there should have been more shots left than there were. In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected? Yes. The number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining. But he thought maybe he just lost track somewhere along the way. My father noticed these things for a reason. I just need to piece them together correctly. In the absence of evidence, it's the only way to the truth. All right. Okay. Murderous motive. Gusto insisted that he had no reason to kill Artie Frost, but remaining evidence, more film has been used up than Tangrowth expected. Did someone else use the camera? Cooperation ended. Gusto had helped Frost in the final, but the favor wasn't returned. Wanted the cookbook. Had Gusto's goal been to look through the ultimate cookbook all along? Okay. Gusto used the camera to take pictures of the pages of the cookbook that he needed for whatever reason. Hey! Photographing the cookbook's contents would be the perfect way to steal its secrets undetected. And what if Mr. Gusto did just that? What if he used Mr. Tangro's camera to photograph the book? It'd be the perfect crime! So much better than stealing it and getting chased by the cops. Sneaky snapshot or 20, huh? That could work. The only question is, when would he have done it? Get logic. Good question. What about during afternoon tea? Didn't Alicia say that Gusto and Frost had missed out on the little tea party they had? Oh. Both Frost and Gusto had like left the tea party to go look at the cookbook together. And then somewhere throughout that is when they said they were done. When they stopped their little sneaky teamwork. Then the question is why? What happened while they were taking pictures of the cookbook to cause them to stop getting along? Did Frost not think it was right to take pictures of the cookbook? Did Gusto refuse to hand over any of the pictures? Like, what happened? Which brings me to the next question. When do we know for certain that Mr. Frost was still alive? That's a good question, too. When did he die? They were never able to do autopsy, so they couldn't figure out, approximated time of death. So, he could have been dead from the moment they entered that room to take pictures of the cookbook. It didn't have to be like midway through like partway through the competition or whatever. It could have been as soon as they entered that room. Then after the contest had begun, nobody saw hide no hair of Frost as he had secluded himself in his room. And the only person capable of entering his locked room was Tangrel, possessing as he did the only key. Miss Scone, were Mr. Tangrel's works the only ones you sampled?
No, dear. I couldn't help myself. When I'd finished my afternoon tea, I tiptoed over to Chillywinkle's room for a little taste, too.
And Mr. Frost had kept himself inside his room after the contest had started. But he was gone by the time Miss Scone snuck into it to sample his works, meaning there's a good chance he was murdered before the end of afternoon tea. Murderer's motive, afternoon tea, cooperation ended. Frosted, fuck. Okay. That doesn't add up. Okay, shut up, game. I'd better think again. Okay, murder motive, cooperation ended. I thought we would be building up to the murderer's motive. Mr. Gusto, you and Mr. Frost conspired to create works for the contest together, did you not? So you know my little secret. Mr. Fender was kind enough to inform me. And Mr. Frost was in charge of the design while you were in charge of the flavor. Is that correct? What can I say? Still had a long way to travel on the road of becoming a master confectioner. But you only collaborated up through the semi-final. Something changed after that. We both wanted to show what we could do. Show that we were better than Tangerel. But you were objectively not, and you knew that. Then why did you help Mr. Frost with his entry for the final? What grounds do you have to say that? Your own statement, made to Mr. Von Karma 18 years ago. You told him that you had been working together right up until the day before the final. Mr. Frost's entry was carved entirely from blocks of flavored ice which would have needed at least a day to freeze, and whose flavors would therefore already have been prepared by Mr. Gusto. Yes, which lines up perfectly with what Gusto told me, that he helped Frost until the day before the final. In that case, why didn't Mr. Frost reciprocate and help Mr. Gusto in return? I can hardly be expected to read the minds of the dead. So why didn't Mr. Frost help you in return? I submit that your relationship broke down for some reason. And that became the basis of your motivation that became the basis of your motive for murder. One moment, let me take a drink of water before we continue more. Doing all these voices is a lot. Okay. Okay. That's a great sprite. That's not how it was. Or that wasn't Gusta's voice. That's not how it was. Sure, we stopped working together, but it was all perfectly friendly.
You've stopped working together? In a friendly way? Kinda hard to imagine, but okay.
I love Kay. God, I love her so much. Besides, how do you think I did it exactly? You think I just strolled into Tangro's room and killed Frost? No, you guys... How do you know what time Frost died? Hold on. A was gonna say they strolled in there together. But two, I couldn't have... I couldn't have killed the man while Tangra was in there working on his chocolate pieces, could I? How do you know? How do you know Frost died while Tangra was working on his chocolate? How do you know the time of death? So you see, it can't have been me. I wouldn't be so sure. There must be a window of time when Mr. Tangra wasn't in his room. Afternoon tea! And if I can prove that, I can prove that Mr. Gusto had the opportunity to kill Mr. Frost. You killed him? It was Mr. Gusto during afternoon tea with the rock salt lamp. Gotcha, bitch. This is why you don't lie. This is why you don't lie. If you lie, I'm gonna catch you in your lie. We can be sure that Mr. Frost was alive until the beginning of afternoon tea, making tea time the only window during which Mr. Gusto could have killed him. Are you satisfied with Mr. Gusto's story now, Mr. Edgeworth? Sadly, I'm afraid I'm still rather unsatisfied. But things are finally starting to become clear, and the truth will soon come to light at last. Do you mean to say you've uncovered new evidence? Evidence? No. I was hoping I might convince Mr. Gusto to open up to us about it instead. Oh? Is it mind games time again? It is. Mr. Gusto, I have a question for you. Dude, stop meditating. You can't meditate your way out of this. I said I have a question for you. What? What is it? You chose to make your entry for the final on your own. I told you, I wanted to test myself. Wanted to prove I was the best in the world. You literally just admitted you had stuff to learn.
Objection!
If that were the case, then surely you wouldn't have chosen to cheat in the first place. So tell me, Mr. Gusto, why did you feel the need to team up with Mr. Frost? I think... Speak of the devil here. I think logic chess is meant to just be the way Edgeworth visualizes things, which is completely fair. I don't think I've ever used chess to visualize things, but I have, I do, visualize stuff in my head sometimes when I'm walking through things and, talking my way through things. But it really kind of seems like he just dragged them into the chess dimension. Also, I kept forgetting to make a post about it on my community tab because I just kept forgetting about it. But the drip marketing for the new characters in Honkai Star Rail, the characters coming in 5.5, I think. Edgeworth is so autistic coded. One of the new characters coming in, not 5.5, I think I said 5.5. I'm getting Genshin and Honkai Star Rail confused. But one of the new characters coming in 3.5 for Honkai Star Rail, she uses chess pieces when she fights, and every time I think about that, it's just like, oh hey, there's Edgeworth. They're putting Miles Edgeworth in Honkai Star Rail. 18 years ago, Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost collaborated in the confectionery contest. But why did they work together, and why did they enter the contest in the first place? This is literally a form of stimming for Edgeworth. Ooh, alright.
Mr. Gusto seems to have a habit of pretending to be asleep when things aren't going his way. Let's start on focusing on why he chose to work with Mr. Frost.
By my hand. Now is the time to dig up the truth that was buried all those years ago. Alright, time to lock in. Why did you collaborate with Mr. Frost? It's time to lock in.
Mr. Gusto, what inspired you to collaborate with Mr. Frost?
We were acquaintances before the contest. The photo of you and your kids together seems to say you were a bit more than acquaintances, my guy. He was interested in entering the contest, so we decided to sign up together.
And your decision to pair up with a sculptor had nothing to do with your lack of faith in your skills.
You don't know me. We joined forces before... We joined forces because we wanted to make the most perfect creations possible. That's all. Bide my time. Because he's not pretending to sleep. Oh, hey. Frost's son and mine were in the same grade at school. So we got along pretty well, too.
Oh. So you were just two friends who happened to try for the title of World's Greatest Confectioner.
And histories will call them two dads who have sons in the same class. Hey, wake up! Hey, bitch!
Pretending to be asleep when the going gets tough won't work on me, I'm afraid. And Mr. Frost was a sculptor, Mr. Gusto. I doubt he cared much about winning a title for confectioner. In which case, he probably had a different motive for taking part in the contest, wouldn't you say?
Fine. It was me. I wanted the title. Frost was only in it for the prize. The ultimate cookbook.
I see. And since your objectives dovetailed so neatly, you decided to work together. But then something happened. A breakdown in your relationship, perhaps? If so, I want to know why.
Mr. Prosecutor, I'm still quite unwell after my brush with death. Yeah, we should probably I fully believe he's the killer. But also, I feel like we should probably let him sit down for a second. Push me too hard, and I'll be on my way back to the medical room. No, wait. Then you'd rather wrap this up quickly. I'm already dangerously low on patience.
Mr. Gusto is trying desperately to make his escape, but he's not going anywhere yet. Not as long as he's still keeping things from me. So let's figure out what he was really after next.
All right.
There's no time to lose. I need to pick the right line of questioning and fast.
Did you want more than just the title?
You two had your eyes on something other than the title, didn't you? After all, I'm not sure the title World's Greatest Confectioner even counts for that much.
Now you're insulting the way of the confectioner. My goal, my only goal, was to win the title. I didn't care about anything else. You have no idea how much it would have meant to me. Bide my time. Look, my sense of design may not have been up to the snuff back then, but you should see me now.
No? So you've improved?
You bet I have. I didn't do all that training in Zhengfa for nothing. Bide my time. I looked up to Tangro, you'd see. Spent hours poring over the designs of his work. Even used to watch his show with my son. You wanted to be on Bacon Bop for your son, didn't you?
It sounds to me like Mr. Tangro's work was especially influential to your early studies. And with his recipe book, you might even have become the best someday.
Maybe. The book was a real treasure, no doubt about that. Any confectioner would have wanted it.
So you were interested in the book too? You claimed that your only goal was to win the title. Yet you also seem to have had an interest in the contest's prize, the ultimate cookbook.
Ugh. The greatest collection of recipes by the world's greatest confectioner. I can't say I had absolutely no interest in it. Even if I did. What exactly is so wrong with that? Well, you and Frost both wanted it. Nothing, I suppose. Only that the book contained recipes for medicines, not desserts. And everyone who entered the contest supposedly knew that. I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere. I can't let him slip from my grasp now. I just need to stay calm and keep the pressure on. No, I have a lot of questions about whatever dough he's using, and if it's even safe for humans to eat. Alright.
Next, let's find out why he wanted the cookbook. Did you know what the book was really worth? Did you know how valuable the cookbook really was?
What kind of question is that? Was a collection of Tangro's recipes.
No, it wasn't.
There wasn't a confectioner in the world who wouldn't have wanted to get their hands on it.
I don't have a clue as to how to proceed with this line of questioning. I'd better try another track.
Did you need it to help your sweets?
So, your plan was to win the cookbook and use it to help you with your own creations.
What else? A book like that could have improved my craft tenfold.
You could have made lots of money if you sold it.
I don't know much about what was actually in there. But it was worth more than money, I'll tell you that. Yeah, that book was literally just full of medicine, basically.
What?
But so what would he want with medicine? You know more than you're letting on.
Come now, Mr. Gusto. I think you know more about the ultimate cookbook than you claim.
They told us a little bit about it at the start of the contest.
Then you know what kind of recipes it actually contained, didn't you? And that they weren't dessert recipes at all.
I see you did your homework. Fine. So you know what's really in there. The ultimate cookbook. Or the Angel's Cookbook, to give its proper title. It's a collection of chemical formulas and ways to synthesize new medicines nobody has ever heard of.
So he did know that the cookbook actually contained recipes for medicines. This could be an important clue. Did you know what the book was really worth? Did you know how valuable the cookbook really was?
What kind of question is that? It was a collection of Tangro's recipes. There wasn't a confectioner in the world who wouldn't have wanted to get their hands on it.
Time to deploy my clue. Except you knew what was really in there. Your designs may have improved thanks to your training in Zheng Fa, but you clearly didn't do enough work on your skills of deception.
You know, that's a good question. Why are we giving medicine to chefs?
You've already admitted that you knew the ultimate cookbook was a collection of recipes for medicines. Thereby making your interest not gastronomical, but pharmaceutical in nature.
You needed the medicine, didn't you?
You're a confectioner, Mr. Gusto. You had no professional interest in revolutionary new medicines, which suggests that your interests must have been personal.
I underestimated you. Fine, you're right. Winning the title wasn't the only reason I entered the contest. I needed one of the recipes in that book. It was for my son. He was sick. He was. Tell me more. That's none of your business. I've told you as much as you need to know. He looks rattled. But I can't let him off the hook. Let's find out what this mystery illness was. Excuse me. I've almost gotten to the bottom of this. I can feel it. Just a few more moves. What was your son's condition? Could you tell me the name of the disease your son suffered from? You're a real cold customer, Mr. Prosecutor. Isn't it enough that he was seriously ill? Why would you force me to tell you more? I don't have a clue as to how to proceed with this line of questioning. I'd better try another track. Tell me more about your son. Tell me a little bit more about your son. He was my pride and joy, and my biggest fan. And you entered the contest in order to help him? You clearly don't have children of your own. Any father would have done the same. Well, I mean, he did just adopt a daughter, so there is that, and we're in the process of adopting a son, so... Yeah, Gusta's son has terminal dead disease. Terminal, you have to die for the plot disease. I would have done anything to help him. Anything. Like murder? He would come see me here at the contest venue, too. Right up through the semifinals. Really? He didn't get in the way of your work? If you were trying to beat Samson Tangro, surely you didn't have the time to look after a child. Yeah, well, I wanted to do what I could for him. He said he always wanted to be the first to try my creations. I'm still recovering, so if you've got nothing to say, let me get back to the medical room. Wait. I may need to be a little more proactive. Oh, it didn't seem like he was sleeping! Okay. I didn't think he was sleeping. So he wasn't too sick to join you? You said your son was sick, Mr. Gusto. And yet he was able to come join you for the contest. Ugh. It wasn't that kind of illness. Nothing life-threatening anyways. What then why? What was it then? Also, couldn't you have just asked Tangro? Like, Tangro seems like a nice guy. Couldn't you have been like, hey, I need to see a page in your magic cookbook so I can fix my son. And I'm sure Tangro would have been like, sure, dude, have at it. This feels like it could be an important clue. Was the book necessary for him to get better? So, you needed the cookbook to cure your son? Yeah. Nowadays, you can get the medication he needed anywhere. But back then, that book was our only hope. Which is why I didn't dare waste my time on fancy tea parties. I had to give my all to my work. And what about Maester Tangro's work? Surely that tea break gave you the perfect opportunity to go steal a glance at it. Yeah, no, like just get the recipe and then repost with credit. Make sure you credit the original creator. Make sure you include Samson's a link to Samson's account in the bio of your post. And what makes you think I had the energy or time to care about what the others had made? You cared about Mr. Tangro's work. I think you've made it abundantly clear how much interest you had in Mr. Tangro's work. Oh, what's more, if you were that determined to win the ultimate cookbook, I seriously doubt you would have passed up on a chance to take a peek at your competitor's entries. I had plenty of chances throughout the contest to see a sample of my rival's work, you know. But each time I did, nothing seemed to have any flavor. Hey, buddy! I think you might need a different page in that cookbook, too. I think there's more in that cookbook that you should look into but beyond just the stuff for your son. Must have been nerves or something. Nothing Mr. Gister tasted had any flavor. It seems like it could be an important clue. Could you tell me the name of the disease your son suffered from? Nah, we already did this one. But it wasn't life-threatening, was it? You've already shared with me that your son's illness wasn't life-threatening. So why are you so reluctant to share any further details? It may not have been life-threatening, but that doesn't mean it hadn't been life-altering. I see. That much must have been very hard on you both. Of course it was. That's why I did everything I could to find a cure. We were desperate. He couldn't taste anything. Not even his favorite desserts. Wait, then why did he want to sample the stuff you made? I'm not asking if he was an overweight. Jesus Christ, Edgeworth, don't say that. As I understand it, the Ultimate Cookbook contains the recipe for a very particular medication. One that Mr. Tangro used to cure himself of his own taste disorder. So he had it too. Too, you say? So your son has a taste disorder then, am I correct? Wait, so hold on, in the Ace Attorney universe, you can literally just walk into like any drugstore and be like, hey, I got a taste disorder. That's a little wild. How did I let it slip? You've been asking me to believe you that you needed to win the cookbook in order to cure your son. But was that really the case? Of course it was. What are you saying? I'm saying that I'm not so sure that's true based on everything you've told me. Yeah, I have no clue how any of this will work. Time to deploy my clue. You were sick yourself, weren't you? Taste disorders are difficult to live with. It isn't easy not being able to enjoy your food. I'm just saying, I feel like allergies might be a little harder to deal with, to live with. Considering, like, if you have a taste disorder, you can still eat anything. You don't have to worry about that. You just can't taste it. But like if you have allergies, you can't eat anything. I feel like to an extent they're making, like, sure, it would suck to not be able to taste things, but I feel like to an extent they're making this taste disorder seem like a lot bigger of a deal than it actually is. The rest of the cast is just standing and watching. They're just watching logic chess go down. You should know, after all. You just told me you experienced something like that during the contest. You said that nothing you sampled had any flavor. Those were your words, correct? Which would seem to suggest that you were suffering from a taste disorder. Confectionaire without a sense of taste. Not exactly ideal. Are you sure it wasn't actually your own condition you were seeking a cure for, Mr. Gusto? I think your sense of taste and smell are linked to some extent, but I do know someone who can't smell and they can still taste just fine. So I'm not sure what the actual link between those two things are. I've had enough of your speculations. I managed just fine in that contest. Made all my own entries, no problem. But were you working with Mr. Frost? Sorry, but I'm afraid you're contradicting your own testimony. You already admitted that you and Mr. Frost had worked together during the contest. It's too late to claim that you did it all on your own now. Ow! That hurt my ears a lot! You would have us believe that you are a man of principle, a dedicated student of the confectioner's art. Yet you abandoned those principles and conspired with Mr. Frost to rig the contest. Also, you could cure your own taste disorder. You got me, Mr. Prosecutor. As you said, my sense of taste was shot. My son's was fine. I kept it hidden for so long. 18 years and nobody knew. Sadly, you can lie to others, but you can't lie to me. Both Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost entered the contest hoping to attain the ultimate cookbook. For the medication that would cure Mr. Gusto's disorder and the money it would bring in for Mr. Frost. Thus, an uneasy alliance was forged. And that, I believe, is checkmate. Woo! We did logic chess! We logicked the chess! I never realized he had a seahorse tattoo on his hand. I'll admit it. You're good. I never told anybody any of this, but you figured it out all anyway. It's true. 18 years ago, I developed ages, what's the G? You say? You say? A youth? What's the you say? It's the taste disorder. That makes it so you can't taste anything at all. And a confectioner's worst nightmare. Mr. Frender, is this what Mr. Tangro had as well? No. The big man had what they call dissociated taste disorder. Basically, some things he could taste just fine, while others had no flavor at all. So he suffered too. Can't have been easy. Not when there wasn't a cure for it on the market. Which is why you needed Mr. Tangro's cookbook. Do you admit that now? That was the real reason you entered the contest. It was only one of the reasons. I wasn't lying when I said I wanted the title.
Tyler.
No, I would also prank so many people if I had a taste disorder. When I put my mind to something, it gets done and I won't lose to anybody. I may not have been able to taste it then, but I still knew my stuff was good enough to win. Oh. So you went into the final thinking you stood a good chance of winning? Of course. What was it that Thunder said about what Mr. Tangro thought of Mr. Gusto's creations? Oh god, what was my voice for Mr. Tangro? Mr. Gusto's creations were the perfect balance of flavor and design, at least up through the semifinals. But disappointingly, his entry for the final was subpar on both accounts. We were told that your entry for the final was far from prize-winning. Was far from the prize-winning taste sensation you described. What happened, Mr. Gusto? What went wrong that day? Fine. You want me to talk? I'll talk, but you're not going to like what I say. My entry for the final. Frost and I were working together right up through the semi-final. I handled the flavor, he did the designing. But I wanted to face Tangro in the final on my own. No help, just me and my skills. So I helped Frost with his entry, but mine I did alone. If it didn't taste good in the final, that's on me. What can I say? I lacked training. I'm not buying that! That's all there is to it. Happy now? Doesn't seem to be any obvious contradictions in his testimony. Shit, do we not have it? 'Cause remember, Frost's creation was salty. It was, like, unusually salty. So, like, obviously, Gusto only, like, half helped him. Like, didn't actually help him. Or, like, sabotaged him or something like that. There doesn't seem to be any obvious contradictions in his testimony. Yep. Not that I thought it'd be easy to get anything real out of him. He managed to not let slip what really happened for 18 years after all. Why don't you try pushing him a little bit, Milesroni? You can see if you can shake something loose. I think I just might have to, Fender. So I guess that's the game telling us to press everything. Alright.
Hold it!
Frost was in charge of the design work. Was in charge of designing the work you both submitted. Well, you handled the taste? Yeah. He was a sculptor and a craftsman, and his sense of design was second to none. But he was clueless about confectionery, which is where I came in. We did what the other couldn't. And boy, did you not have an eye for aesthetics. Not even simple stuff. Ugh. Ooh. How do you like me now? The national symbol of Zhengfa. Oh yeah, it's a phoenix. That's awesome. I'll say, pretty different to the stuff you were pumping out 18 years ago. Behold the fruits of my training. I've dedicated my whole life to my craft. But back then, we both needed each other's help, so we joined hands until the final.
Hold it!
You were serious about winning the title, then? Of course. The art of confectionery is my life. Why wouldn't I have wanted to be crowned the greatest? I don't think Gusto ever got to the point of tasting Frost's creation, because they found his corpse before that. But I still had a lot to learn back then. Guess it's no surprise that my work wasn't up to scratch. But the title wasn't the only thing you wanted. There was the cookbook, too. And you wanted the book even more than you wanted the title. Isn't that right, Mr. Gusto?
Overruled.
Mr. Edgeworth, you are badgering a witness who is still suffering the effects of today's attack. I cannot allow this harassment to continue.
I understand, Your Honor, but...
Ignore him, Mr. Gusto. You need not answer that vile prosecutor's question. But please, do continue your testimony in your own time.
Hold it!
So, you're saying Mr. Frost didn't help you at all? But he helped you up until then, correct? It's a bit strange for him to stop so late into the contest, no? sense to a lesser extent. Like, it makes a little more sense that they didn't have cameras all the way back in, like, 18 years ago when, Frost died. But the fact that, that they haven't installed any cameras today is so funny. Strange or not, it's the truth. Could be he had his reasons too. I wouldn't know. If he's lying, it's gonna be a headache to prove. 18 years is a long time. Not unless that gizmo of yours has a built-in lie detector, Kay. If it did, I'd have stolen the show from Mr. Edgeworth long before now. Don't worry, Fender. I can tell when he's lying. No doohickey assistance required. Yeah, because he was closing his eyes. Please, Mr. Custo, continue your testimony.
Hold it!
But you were the confectionery side. And yet, I heard your creations prior to the final were scored highly for their flavor. So what went wrong? Was there some kind of cooking accident on that day? No. Nothing like that. It was... I told you, I had a taste disorder. My sense of taste failed me. It's as simple as that. But Mr. Frost's entry was complimented on its flavor. Your sense of taste hadn't failed you then. I guess I was wrong about them not tasting Frost's creation and it being salty. I guess I'm insane. I guess I completely forgot how that portion of the competition went down. Did something happen overnight? I don't think he's gonna spill any more beans, Mr. Edgeworth. Then perhaps I should ask him something else. Ask about Frost? You knew Mr. Frost from before the contest, correct? You remembered, I fear. My son and Frost used to go to elementary school together. An 18-year-old mystery. And the key to unraveling it is finally in my grasp. I just need to remember everything Fender told me about what he and my father discovered. Alright, I want to ask the other questions, I guess. Ask about the semifinal. Did something change between the semifinal and the final, Mr. Gusto? Not really. The only difference between the semifinal and the final was that Frost wasn't helping me. Okay. And now I suppose I try staying the course. Oh.
Hold it!
That final piece of testimony changes depending on the question you ask here. No, I'll just stick with what I have for now. Oh, okay. Okay, so we need... Location, the mansion, the date, the rep, and the prosecutor, the defense attorney. Huh.
Hold it!
So, you really completed your final entry without Mr. Frost's help? It may not have. I may not have had his designs to lean on, but I knew. But but I knew I was still solid when it came to flavor. So the visuals were the only thing that changed between the semi-final and the final. You sure, Gusteel, pal? Gonna have to call you out on that one, I'm afraid. Wasn't just his look that got a big thumbs down come judgment time. Got trashed on flavor, too. Doesn't sound like it was much of a winner to me. Despite his confidence, Mr. Gusto failed on flavor, too. The lack of Mr. Frost's assistance shouldn't have affected that. So was there some other distance? An 18 mystery. And the key to unraveling it is finding my... Does it have to do with his son? So his son didn't have the taste disorder. He did. And his son visited him throughout the competition. So, did his son not visit him that day? Hey! Oh, I might have been right. I can think of one significant difference between the semi-final and the final, Mr. Gusto. Your son. This is him in the photograph, correct? You told me he was here with you up through the semi-finals. He was. What of it? Oh, what indeed? He was here with you until the semi-finals, until he suddenly wasn't for the finals. And just as suddenly, your work went from being laundered for its flavor to being lambasted for it. I don't think that's a coincidence, do you? He wasn't just spending quality time with his father. He was playing as much of a pivotal role than... He was playing a much more pivotal role than that. I just wanted to see him hard. I just wanted him to see me hard at work. To show him I was trying my best for us. Who knows? Maybe it was him being here that helped me do so well in those early rounds. He talks good game, but nothing about this guy screams super dad to me. Indeed. Thankfully, we would only have to give such an idea... Indeed. Thankfully, we would only have to give such an idea credence if his story were true. I really love Edgeworth and Kay's matching sprites here. After all, how much could the encouragement of one small boy affect the taste of a grown man's work? Mr. Gusto prided himself on the flavor of his creations, but then he lost his sense of taste. He must have had a tough time maintaining his high standards after such a devastating loss, unless... I'm sure your son was here to cheer you on, but that wasn't all he was here to do, was it? You're a very suspicious man, Mr. Prosecutor. But why not try answering yourself for a change? Edgeworth and Kay are the father-daughter duo. What was an elementary kid doing here other than supporting his father? To taste your creations. Your son knew the taste of your work pretty well, I imagine, Mr. Gusto. He was my biggest fan. Of course he knew it. In which case, he would have been a good judge of whether or not something tasted on brand, so to speak, no? What are you implying? You've already told us that you were suffering from a taste disorder. Okay, we do not need a flashback for this. I'll admit it. You're good. I never told anybody of this, but you figured it all out anyway. It's true. 18 years ago, I developed ageusia. No one knew about your condition. Indeed. I doubt Mr. Frost would have wanted to continue collaborating with you had he found out. After all, it was your job to make sure his creations tasted good. Dude, stop pretending to sleep! Therefore, your son wasn't just here to support you. He was helping you by taste testing your work. Dang. Now it all makes sense. Oh yeah, no, the first time Phoenix gets to meet either of Edgeworth's children, it's pure chaos. And Frost's stuff tastes good. Tastes good because he was... Frost stuff tasted good because it was really finished the day before when the kid was still here. You have a vivid imagination, Mr. Prosecutor. But you seriously think I trust a kid to tell me how to adjust the taste of my masterpieces? I have some pride, you know, even back then. Did you now? My designs may have not been much to write home about back then, but I always knew my work tasted better than anybody else's. Dude, you literally cheated in this competition. I don't think you have too many morals. You think I'd risk everything by putting my reputation in the hands of a child? This is just more speculation. That is all. In that case, I ask to speak with your son this instant. Let's see how much of your story he can contribute. Sadly for you, my son is no longer my concern. I'm sorry, what? What? Father of the Year, everybody! Give it up for Mr. Gusto! Father of the Year! As soon as I got my sense of taste back, I went straight to Zhangfa to start my training. Jesus Christ! And cut off all ties with the kid for good. What? You abandoned your own child? That ain't the half of it. No one knows where he is, even now. Cops have looked all over for him, but no dice. So, you still think you can prove your sane theory? I'd like to see you try. You think I care about anything besides confectionery? Think again. I got my sense of taste back. What need do I have for a fuck you? Fuck you? Fuck you? And you literally just proved what we were saying.
Silence in the courtroom. While Mr. Gusto's words and actions may demonstrate a certain lack of humanity on his part,
I'm keeping the son in mind.
the goddess of justice cannot judge him for that.
I think child abandonment is a crime. I think we should be judging him for abandoning his son.
Therefore, Mr. Edgeworth, I believe it is time for you to admit defeat.
Yeah, give it up, Edgeworth. Yeah, give it up. 18 years is a long time for anything to surface now. Proof or otherwise.
Mr. Edgeworth, we have to do something. If we don't, the truth might be lost forever.
Where are you, Detective Gumshoe? Can't imagine whose blood it could possibly be, but I'll get it tested right away, sir. Please do, Detective. That's the last piece of the puzzle, I'm sure of it. Once we know whose blood it is. Hey, Miles. Sorry to cut in your mind palace time, but I was pondering something myself. Our friend Gusto didn't come here just to check up on the body, did he? You mean because he tried to open the case? Exactamundo. Think we have anything that might explain why he tried to do that? We might. If Detective Gumshoe can make it back in time with a certain piece of evidence. Did he kill his son? Is that where this is going?
There's quite enough idle chatter. There's quite enough idle chatter. There's quite enough idle chatter, defense. Now if you...
Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Sorry to keep you waiting! Speak of the devil. Gumshoe Gumshoe is, in fact, the uncle. I take it you have I take it you have it. Jesus Christ. I take it you have the test results, Detective. Yes, sir. The lab just got back to me.
Detective, please. Court is in session.
Girl, we're in an art museum.
Now then, am I right to assume you are bringing us the evidence Mr. Edgeworth was just speaking of?
No, I'm really concerned Gusto murdered his son. What? Hey, not fair. Why didn't anybody tell me about any of this? Yeah, Gumshoe is the weird uncle in the fun way. Larry is the weird uncle in the bad way. It is indeed the evidence in question, Your Honor. It needs testing, so I asked him to carry it out. What the? Why is everybody always helping you? I'm supposed to be the one in charge here. Mr. DeBest, I'm sorry I didn't involve you, but this is important. Can we at least hear what the detective has to say? Well, alright. So, Detective Gumshoe, what did the tests have to tell us? You're not gonna believe this, but the owner of the blood we found in the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case is Carmelo Gusto, the victim of the poison gas attack. Hey guys! Who are we talking to right now? What are you talking about? Thank you, Detective. You've been very helpful. Well, it looks like my suspicions were correct. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? Hey guys! Hey guys! Who are we talking to right now? Maya is the wine aunt, and we love her for that. No, Sebastian's character building throughout all of this is so good. And I love the way Edgeworth handles dealing with Sebastian. 'Cause, like, he does rightfully apologize for not including Sebastian in figuring out what the blood is. He does rightfully apologize for that, but he does also acknowledge that they can worry about that in a moment. This is important. And Sebastian completely not processing how to, like, accept an apology from an adult is insane character building. And I love that for him, because same, dude, same. That was exactly me, like, 3 years ago. Yes, what do you mean? Explain yourself. What is the significance of this blood to this case? It's only the very thing the perpetrator of the I-7 incident has been trying to hide all these years. You. But the fact that your blood was found inside the Gemini case, Mr. Gusto, is as good as us finding your blood lying right next to Mr. Frost's body. Okay, I guess they're not... I assumed that the blood was gonna be from, like, a body. So I guess this is still Carmelo Gusto, but... It would have been funny if it wasn't him.
Overruled.
Why would there be traces of your blood there? Of all places, Mr. Gusto. If you won't answer her honor, Mr. Gusto, then I will. There wasn't just blood in the liquid from the Gemini case. There were traces of salt and sugar, too. There were? And if you remember, one particular part of Mr. Frost's work was allegedly very salty.
Yeah, no, Sebastian just completely stops processing anything the second anyone tells him he's done a good job. Dude just completely shuts off. Oh, yeah. You're talking about what Delicia told us back then, right? What was it again? They ever? I never tried ices so scrumptious in all my life. Really? Man, I wish I could have had a bite. Well, scrumptious except for the salty bit, of course. That was unbearable. The salty bit? It's in one of the other photos you've got there. This bit, the heart thingy. Gemini's liar. Yes, the liar. And only the liar. Tasted as if it had been flavored with salt. There were no traces of salt anywhere else in Mr. Frost's entry. Very interesting. Then perhaps you can tell us, Mr. Edgeworth? Where did the salt on the liar come from? Oh. Oh!
Take that!
Oh. Oh, that's disgusting. If this is going in the direction I think it's going, that's so gross.
This is the lamp from the IS-7 incident.
Indeed.
And I believe it is the salt that gave the liar its flavor came from such a lamp. Mr. Von Karma had established that both the salt lamps were in Mr. Tangro's room at the time of the crime. One of them was used to kill Mr. Frost. And it was stained with his blood. But no corresponding pool of blood was found in Mr. Tangro's room.
So, I have a feeling that this is going in the direction of, like, Gusto hiding the bloody salt lamp somehow within, like, Frost's creations, which would be so gross because multiple people ate that creation. Right, because the culprit had chucked a piece of chocolate within it onto the little stream. Furthermore, aside from the liar, no traces of salt were found anywhere in Mr. Frost's room either. Hey, come to think of it, the lamps we found in Delicia's room were both broken. The lamps appear to be broken. Bulbs are smashed. Both of them. Maybe they fell and broke. Maybe they fell and broke on the floor? You never did figure out how the one that wasn't used to kill Frost got busted, but... Are we thinking maybe it had Gusto's blood on it at some point? Oh, little different than what I was thinking, but still absolutely nasty. Anyone whose blood was found on one of the lamps would have been a person of interest to the police. So the killer needed to hide the blood somehow. And in a way that wouldn't arouse suspicion. And you are seriously suggesting that the liar was used to do just that? Oh, that's still gross. It's a different person's blood, but it's still nasty. So I'm assuming he broke the bit of the salt lamp that had his blood on it off, crushed it into a fine powder, like salt, and then like, used it to, like, recreate to create a new version of the liar. And that is disgusting because Delicia ate so much of it. This is nasty. I am. I suspect that the... This is so gross. I suspect that the bloody salt was somehow applied to the liar so that it could be hidden inside the case.
Because unlike the fountain water, the sculpture would have needed more time and care to test properly. And so he waited, and waited for his chance to dispose of the liar undetected. Then the reason he's here today is... 18 years ago, Mr. Frost's body and the evidence pointing to his killer were taken away together. This, of course, was not part of the perpetrator's plan, and thus a new dilemma arose. The possibility that the body, the incriminating evidence, or both would resurface one day.
This is like involuntary cannibalism. Ooh, yuck. Dude, you can also get super sick from eating other people's blood. Like, our bodies aren't built to digest other people's blood. Yuck. Oh, ew. God. Like, Delicia's a little annoying, but I don't want her to eat blood.
So back he comes, 18 years later, sneaking in bright and early to try and cover his tracks. Well, Mr. Gusto, are you finally ready to admit it? That you are the one responsible for the IS-7 incident. Mr. Gusto, it is all because of you that Samson...
Gusto. So I finally got caught, huh? All these years later. Nobody came close back then. Not even the big shot prosecutor. Or the attorney. That's some impressive work, Mr. Prosecutor. I have to hand it to you.
You admit it, then? That you murdered Archie Frost?
Sure I did. I did it. I killed him. But he only had himself to blame. Dude, you can't blame someone for dying! That's not how this works! You can't blame someone for getting murdered!
What do you mean by that?
He agreed to help me. We were supposed to help each other, so that one of us could win. And whoever won was supposed to let the other use the cookbook. But on the day of the final, the rat finally showed his true colors. Seriously, Frost? We had a deal.
Sorry, I'm not helping you in the final. Our little agreement is over, Gusto.
But I helped you. I spent all day yesterday making the ice for your pieces.
Did you? And you can prove that, I suppose.
What do you... Wait. You were planning to betray me right from the start, weren't you? Yeah, no, dude literally just admitted to committing murder. Like, I don't care how good your defense is, you literally admitted to killing the dude. After Frost double-crossed me, I had to make my piece for the final by myself. And like you said, my son wasn't there, so I didn't have any help with the flavor either.
So much for the pride you claim to have in your ability to make delicious desserts.
Go ahead and judge. You have no idea what it was like for someone like me to lose my sense of taste. I gave up everything to become the best. Everything! I take pride in that. Something someone like you could never understand.
You're right. I don't understand. Do you take pride in the fact that you resorted to murder? Or that you abandoned your son? Or why would I want to understand someone who could do such a thing?
A man can't afford to rely on other people. I learned that the hard way 18 years ago. My son never showed up on the day of the final. And in hindsight, I wouldn't be surprised if Frost was the reason why.
Why would you think that? What exactly happened to your son?
How am I supposed to know? I told you, he's none of my concern anymore. And according to you guys, nobody knows where he is now either. And you don't care? You're horrible! So with his disappearance, so too went your chances of winning. Correct? Dude, you weren't even worried that your son disappeared? God, fuck you! Fuck you so much. Yeah. No. Like, you see it throughout cases. Whenever there is, like, situations with either people who have lost their parents or bad parents, Edgeworth gets upset. That is one of the most consistent parts about his character, is that because of his own loss of his father, he struggles a lot with other people losing their parents, or when people are absolutely horrible parents. And I do also love Kay being devastated by someone being a bad father, because she lost her father. Someone who, like, Mr. Faraday seemed like he was a good dad and loved Kay truly, and so losing him really hurt Kay, and she hates seeing people, like, being bad parents. Kay and Edgeworth are such interesting, similar characters. I decided to skip afternoon tea and snuck into Tangro's room. It should have been so easy. All I had to do was photograph the formulas I needed and get out of there. But then Frost showed up. I thought I might find you here. Stealing recipes from the famous cookbook? Frost. What's this? A cure for taste disorders? Oh no. That's just too tragic. A confectioner who can't taste anything. What will people say? People hate Kay? Who do I need to fight? Who am I throwing hands with? She's my baby. I love her. That's my I love Kay so much. She's such a fun character, and such an interesting character too. If you tell anybody, I'll... Ugh. You know what? You can't even hit me, you miserable worm. Why you? Okay, Frost was a little bit of a dick there, but you don't get an excuse for punching him. You can't complain when the guy you're trying to punch fights back. That's rule number one about throwing a punch, is that you gotta expect the person to punch back. Dude, what is wrong with you? I am memeing about fighting people. Like I'm memeing about actually fighting people, but I am a little curious who hates Kay. Because, like, I've only ever really seen positive to neutral opinions on her. I don't think I've ever seen someone not like her, so I am curious who doesn't like her. Frost shoved me hard when I went to punch him, knocked me clean off my feet. I crashed into one of the lamps. Must have been when my blood got on it. So, Mr. Frost wasn't the first to get hurt? When it was all over, I realized I had to get rid of that blood somehow. So I scraped off all the bloody bits. Oh. I dissolved the salt shavings in some flavored ice and mixed the blood. Oh, God, I can't talk. I dissolved the salt shavings in some flavored ice mixture and brushed it all over the harp. And that's how you made the evidence linking to your murder. Finesh. Oh, God, I can't believe he put... The blood on the harp, and then Delicia eating it is so nasty. Frost was going to blackmail me. That doesn't mean you can commit murder! Dude, I'm sorry, but that is not a justifiable enough reason to commit murder. Like, also you threw the first punch. It doesn't matter that Frost wasn't the first one to get hurt. You literally started it by throwing a punch. You know, considering how Jellopocalypse typically acts, I pay zero attention to any of their opinions. Absolutely zero. So that's fine. Though I will throw hands with Jellopocalypse. He would have made me give him money to keep quiet about my condition. So you decided you had to kill him? Yeah, I guess I did. Why would I let him live? Would you want someone holding something like that over your head? Besides, he's the one who drew first blood. Makes a solid case for self-defense, don't you think? You threw the first punch! You're the aggravator in that situation! It doesn't matter that you bled first, you threw the punch! If you start shit, you have to expect to get hit! Frost clearly went into that room ready to get hit! If you're gonna throw a punch, you gotta expect the other guy to punch back! I'm gonna murder this man! So, that was the impetus behind it all. Anyways, I initially took the lamp to Frost's room. Went straight there once I figured out how I was going to hide the bloody part. Inspired by all the ice sculpting tools lying about the place, I guess? No, you're completely fine with swearing. I literally just said shit like 5 seconds ago. I swear so much. I try to stay respectful in the first 10 to 20 minutes of stream, but there's times where I get pissed early. But no, I'm completely fine with swearing. I swear both on stream and in my videos and IRL. It's fine. You're not as dumb as you pretend to be. Yeah, I figured I could use them to chip it off and grind it up. Yuck! Excuse me. All this yelling and talking in Gustav's voice is really hurting my throat. I need to be more careful about picking the voices I give people in the next case. Once that was done, painting the stuff all over the harp was easy. Blech.
But why Samson? Why did you have to frame him?
I never meant for the cops to pin it on him. That was your fault. You and the rest of them. Why do you think I went to the trouble of placing the lamps and cloth back in Scone's room? There's only one reason to plant the murder weapon in the room of another contestant. And that is to have suspicion on that person. What? You tried to frame me, Gusty Pants? Girl, are you not concerned that you ate blood? Yeah. But why? Why poor old me? I respect Tangro. He was the best. A true champion. I would never have wanted him to take the fall. But you're a fraud. Your work wasn't even real. You had no respect for our craft at all. So, as a little lesson to everyone, this is what we call the pot calling the kettle black. You cheated! You literally cheated throughout every round of this competition! You can't shit on Delicia for cheating after you cheated! I'm sorry, this case is making me really angry. The dough is absolutely covered in dust and hair because it keeps going in his pocket. I'm sure of that. You deserve to be punished for what you did. What is this guy's problem? Oh, Gussie, how could you? And had you refrained from eating Tangro's work, Frost's body wouldn't have been found. My plan was to wait until Tangro was judging your room. That's when I'd sneak the corpse into Frost's room and freeze it. But thanks to you, Bound here found it before I had a chance to retrieve it. I don't understand. Why did you need to freeze his body at all? Ah, why indeed. Mr. Edgeworth, surely you must know. Why did Mr. Gusto need to freeze Mr. Frost's body? To obscure the time of death. Mr. Gusto needed to freeze Mr. Frost's body in order to obscure the time of death. Yeah, no, like, you can tell if something's dead nearby. I've luckily never found a dead body of a human, but I've found dead bodies of birds and mice that my cat has hunted. And I found a dead deer once because I live on a very large piece of property out in the country. We have a shit ton of woods nearby and deer nearby. I was walking the property one day with my dog, and as we got down to the edge of my property, we found, and I smelled it before I saw it, the body of a deer. And it was slightly decayed, but like, I smelled it before I saw it. I knew I was gonna find something dead any minute now because I could smell it before I saw it. Dead, like, rotting meat smells horrid. There is no way no one wouldn't have smelled that body. If they determined the murder occurred during afternoon tea, he would have been an obvious suspect. Bingo. Freezing Frost's body wasn't simple. Preparing everything took time. So I decided to put his body in the chest in Tangro's room while I got everything ready in Frost's. At the time, it seemed like the perfect hiding place. Never counted on some gluttonous pharmacist showing up and making a whole ship collapse. I still don't get it, though. Why disguise the body of an ice sculpture at all? The sooner it was found, the smaller the effect of freezing it would have had, masking the time of death. Therefore, he needs to disguise it at least until it's fully frozen. How awful! Using Mr. Frost's own work to help you cover up the truth behind his murder. Ooh, yeah, no, that sounds... Ooh. No, any type of rotting meat is absolutely gag-worthy. Ironically, Tangrove would have been just fine if the body hadn't been found before I got it out of his room. If only things had gone to plan, he wouldn't even have been arrested, let alone convicted.
You mean it was my fault? Everything that happened to Samson? It was all because I found the body?
Don't let him get inside your head, Jutes. None of this is your fault. If it wasn't Samson, it would have been Delicia instead. She would have been the one they arrested. Either way, there's only one person here to blame, and that's Gusto. It didn't help that the initial detective was so bad at his job either. He never even told the prosecutor that the body had vanished. So then, Mr. Von Karma had unwittingly placed Mr. Tangrel under arrest in the absence of a body? Oh god, living with rotting meat for 3 days sounds horrid. I mean, I guess it would explain why he was so keen to wrap things up. Still, you'd think he'd notice something as big as that if he'd taken a look at a few reports, right? Not if someone had been deliberately distorting the facts of the case, though. Either way, it seems that Mr. Von Karma didn't know about the body until after the arrest had been made. Dude, the Ace Attorney music is so good. This piano is so good. But admitting that would have spoiled his perfect record. So he kept it to himself and proceeded to prosecute Mr. Tangrove regardless. Can this really be true? You don't feel bad at all? Somebody spent 18 years in prison because of you! Sticks and stones, girlie. Sticks and stones. What a jerk. I gotta arrest you right now, pal. No, Gumshoe, you actually oughta. Gumshoe, you oughta arrest him. He committed a crime! I'm afraid I can't allow you to do that, Detective. So you noticed. Glad somebody did. The judge is right. You can't lay a finger on me. What? Why? You just confessed to murder! No idea, huh? Then I guess I'd better lay it out for you. So IRL, murder cases don't have a statute of limitation. There are crimes that have a statute of limitations. Like petty theft has a statute of limitations. Stuff like all the little stuff has a statute of limitations. Murder does not. You can be tried for murder 70 years in the future. They sometimes give sentences to dead people to provide closure to the families. You can be tried for murder at any point in time. For some reason in Ace Attorney, though, it's 15 years. 15 years. I killed Frost 18 years ago. The statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years. You do the math. You can't arrest me. You think I'd have confessed otherwise? That's right. The statute of limitations is only 15 years. Is this really the end of the line, Mr. Edgeworth? Once the statute has expired, he can't be charged, so... But... How unfortunate, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm afraid that Mr. Gusto's confession and your deductions will have to be struck from the record. Yeah, no, Gusto, go Guthrie, why don't you go drown yourself in the fountain?
And that Mr. Tangro's conviction will remain in place.
But we've finally proven that the police never had Mr. Foster's body in their possession.
Even if we can't arrest Mr. Gusto, surely Mr. Tangro has grounds for a free trial on that basis. Does he? I wouldn't be so sure. I'm afraid that the goddess's judgments are somewhat harder to overturn than you might imagine.
Bitch! There have literally been cases in Ace Attorney where the judge has gone, my verdict is guilty, and we've gone, nuh-uh, I have more evidence. I love you, Gabble, and you're so hot. But girl, what the fuck?
So the committee means for the verdict from 18 years ago to stand no matter what.
Bad luck, Mr. Prosecutor.
There must be something we can do. Something to bring Mr. Gusto down. Let me just refresh myself on what the stupid statute of limitation book says. 7 years from the date of the crime. Okay, theft if you have 7 years. Murder, 15 years. The statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country. The status is suspended from the time any accomplice indictment to the end of their trial. No, wait, that one wouldn't work, I don't think. But the first one does. Guess who fucked off to Zhang Fa? Literally like a week after the murder. There must be something we can do. Something to bring Mr. Gusto down. Okay, where do I killed Frost 18 years ago.
Hold it!
Depending on your actions over the last 18 years, the statute may not have expired yet.
This ought to be good. Alright, I got nothing to hide. If there's something you want to ask, ask it.
Very well. Tell us where you've been and what you've been doing since the incident.
Sure. Not long after the contest, I was able to cure my taste disorder thanks to the formula from the book. And not so long after that, I went to Zhangfa to really buckle down and hone my craft. And that explains a lot. We tried to contact you after the fact, but I guess you were long gone by then, huh? Could be. I left, let's see, around a year after the murder. It was before Tangro's last day in court! Going to Zhangfa was the best thing I ever did. Flavor, design, I'm the full package now. And all on the backs of those whose lives you destroyed. With an omelet without a few eggs, Nothing, Mr. Prosecutor. Nothing. You're evil! Sticks and stones, girlie. You can't arrest me. That's all that matters. I need more to work with. There has to be something I can get out of him. Maybe I can push him further on the statement he just made? Is there anything I should follow up on? Mr. Tangro's final day in court. Would you mind telling us more about Mr. Tangro's final day in court? Fine. As for Tangro, I didn't stick around for his final court appearance.
Hold it!
And you weren't summoned as a witness at any point by the prosecution or the defense?
I had more important things to do than worry about some court case. You may fight him with weapons on your side. Also, yeah, Edgeworth is definitely out for blood based off of the way he's been speaking to Kay. No one insults Edgeworth's daughter and lives to tell the tale unless they're in prison. I was busy getting ready to go and become the best. Gregory and me searched high and low for the guy. Seems like he didn't want to be found.
It sounds like he played his cards right and managed to avoid setting foot in court.
Hey. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Objection!
Fuck! Shoot him with the gun. Why isn't this working?
You're lying, Mr. Gusto, and this proves it. This is no time for meditation. I need you to look at the evidence.
Well, I don't need to look at it. It's garbage, and you need to try harder. If you're looking on improving your professional skills, I wholeheartedly recommend going to Zhengfa.
Hold it!
No, I already pressed this one.
Objection!
Yay, we killed Gusto! His training in Zhengfa.
I'd like you to tell us more about your training in Zhengfa, if you wouldn't mind.
Fine. I later went to Zhengfa to train and finally become the best in the world.
Hold it!
Zhengfa? And you were there for a while, I imagine.
Yeah, I left some time after the investigation had wrapped up. I'd been meaning to go there and start my studies for a while. And thanks to the hard work I put in. My designs are now world class.
Whoa, that's amazing.
You like it? It's yours.
Really? Alright. So he spent some time in Zhengfa training.
Hold it!
Never say never, Mr. Gusto. Nothing's impossible.
Really? Come on. Give it up. Your father couldn't catch me. What makes you think you can? He would have solved the whole case if it hadn't been for Mr. Von Karma instructing him at every turn. I have no clue. Honestly, I have no clue how he's doing anything with that dough. It doesn't seem to function like dough does.
And now the statutes of limitation is threatening to enter the truth of this case forever. Don't listen to him, Mr. Edgeworth. You can't give up now. We're doing this for your dad. We have to see it through to the end.
Okay.
The truth is right there for the taking. What kind of great thieves are we if we don't grab it for ourselves?
I'm not a great thief, Kay. But you are right. Carmela Gusto, I won't allow you to make off with the truth. Do your worst.
Hold it!
The passage of time doesn't diminish what you did, Mr. Gusto.
No, he wouldn't be suspect to Zhengfa's laws because he didn't commit a crime there. Though if Zhengfa has an extradition treaty with, Japanifornia, then they could have, like, sent him back, but no one knew he committed the crime. The thing here is the evidence, the statute of limitation book says that the statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country. Gusto fled to a foreign country. The problem is, I don't know where to present the book. It sure diminishes one thing, though. Your ability to arrest me. Oh, we can arrest you. We can arrest you real good. We could have you in cuffs before you even blink, pal. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? This shoe isn't as open and shut as you're making it out to be, Detective. Okay, but we could arrest him and then put him in court. You can't touch me. It's too late for that.
Hold it!
No, I already pressed this one. Did I present the book on this one? Not profiles.
Objection!
I thought I presented it there, but I guess not. The statute of limitations for murder is subject to the following conditions. The statute is to suspend should the suspect flee to a foreign country. Which means that time you spent abroad, it doesn't count towards the total time under the statute. No way! So it's like someone hit pause while he was in Jacques. It appears there may be time left on the clock yet. The music in Ace Attorney is so good. But that will depend on how long you stayed in Jacques, Mr. Gusto. Okay, so he left a year after the murder, so that's 1 year of the statue. So, and it's 18 years later. So unless he only spent 2 years there, we should be good. It was 3 years exactly. 3 years? Hold on. Nobody say anything until I've done the math. The murder happened 18 years ago, back. Statue is 15 years. I had 3 overseas. 15 plus 3 makes exactly 18. Which means, no way! Mr. Edgeworth, you did it! The statue hasn't expired after all! Bingo! 18 years exactly! Glad you worked it out for yourself. Dude, it's April, right? It's April. We got, what is that? April to December, January, February, March, April, we got 8 months left. We got 8 months! And pauses once you're in court. You're dead, dude! He's just been stringing us along this whole time. What? Why is he laughing? We're good, aren't we? We can arrest him now. I hate to break it to you, little sis, but... Yeah, dude is being real fast and loose with the term expert. No, that means we have 8 months left! IS-7 went down at the end of December. It's April now, which means... No, because that would make it 19! I need to calm down. If December of last year for IS-7 would have been 17 years minus the 3 overseas 14 years. It hasn't been another year yet. We literally still have 8 months, which pauses once we're in trial. Fuck off, Gusto. I'm gonna take a drink of water. I need to calm down. Strictly speaking, it's been 18 years and 4 months. That's not how it works. If Gusto's stay in Zhengfa really lasted 3 years on the nose, it's not enough. We're only a few months short. Not enough, but... What did I tell you? You can't touch me. I hate to admit it, but he read the board well when he made his confession.
How unfortunate, Mr. Edgeworth. If only the statute had been suspended for another year. Those who would overturn the goddess's judgment must be willing to pay the price should they fail.
This isn't how time works!
And you, Mr. Edgeworth, have failed.
Oh, there must be something I can do.
I knew it. Well, if the law can't bring Mr. Gusto to justice, then...
Judes, what are you thinking? Do it, Judy! Do it! I'll defend you in court, girl! Justified self-defense against this absolute asshole!
Objection!
There's no need to go adding to your rap sheet just yet. We're not done here. Far from it. Because there's still a way we can nail him.
There is...
I love that Judy was straight up ready to commit murder, because, like, girl, go. Do it, girl. Kill him. I have the power of women's rights and wrongs. Alright, Miles Roney. Pep talk. I need you to think back over everything we know about the case. Gusto overlooked one critical thing that you yourself were led to believe wrongly about. Which is... he wasn't there for Samson's last trial, remember? Best I can tell, he doesn't seem to know what the final verdict that came down that day was. Samson was only declared an accomplice. What does the book say about accomplices? The statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. To verify here, I'm really bad with words. Which means there's still one way left for us. Crack open your Statutes for Dummies there and take another look. 17 years ago, they really did a number on Samson and framed him like a pretty picture. But if we make good use of that verdict now, we can make Augusto pay in full for what he's done. Fender, are you... Those who would overturn the goddess's judgment must be willing to pay the price should they fail. Samson's my client, Miles, and I can't bring myself to use the source of his pain as a weapon in this fight. So whether we play our last card or not, it's gonna have to be up to you. Let's get this bitch. Bringing Mr. Gusto to justice can only happen if I use the outcome of that trial. So, should I raise an objection and play that card or not? Let's raise an objection. My father and Mr. Von Karma, one thought to reveal the truth and the other to hide it. I know which path I choose to follow. The one that seeks to reveal the truth.
The court has reached its final verdict. The record will state that Mr. Gusto has been found not guilty on all counts.
No, Your Honor. Carmelo Gusto is absolutely guilty. And I refuse to let him walk away. His crimes are too unspeakable to go unpunished.
Do you mean to suggest that you have grounds upon which to call for his arrest?
I do. Now to show Judge Gavel something that proves the statute of limitation hasn't expired yet. Oh, I feel like it's the case files. I feel like it has to be the case files.
Take that!
Very well. Is there a particular page of the IS-7 case that you would like us to refer to?
It is the page... 17 Row 39... Verdict... Suspect data. Take a look at that suspect data page.
I'd like to direct your attention to the page concerning the suspect. As you can see, Samson Tangro was convicted as an accomplice, and it took around 1 year from his indictment for that verdict to be reached. Yes, that does seem to be the case. The book you gave us details certain conditions pertaining to the statute of limitation for murder. One of them, as I mentioned, is that the statute is suspended if the suspect flees the country. And another states that the statute is suspended from the time any accomplice indicts any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. What? Tangro was convicted as an accomplice? Yep. Guess you were in Zhengfa when the verdict came down. You think that you would keep an eye on the verdict of your murder of the murder you committed, even if you're in another country. You think you would just keep that in the corner of your eye, right? Samson was convicted as an accomplice, not the main perpetrator, which clearly is news to you. And not good news either, am I right? But how can that be? Tangro wasn't accomplice to anyone. He was innocent, and you know it. No, we know it. It's what we've been trying to prove all along. And in a pleasing twist of fate, his wrongful conviction will be the very thing that sets him free. If you spent 3 years in Zhengfa, and your accomplice, Samson Tangro, was on trial for 1 year, that means you can still be charged with you can still be charged with Mr. Frost's murder up to 19 years after the fact. In other words, the statute of limitation hasn't expired at all. The goddess's judgment is infallible, but that of her servants, it appears, is not. It seems the prosecutor in charge of this case may have been erred. Unbelievably, we may have no choice but to investigate a full inquiry. That reads like we did an internal investigation on ourselves, and we found that we're completely clean. Sorry, I missed what Gusta said. No, how could this? You weren't supposed to be able to. 18 years. That's a long time to let somebody else suffer for your crimes. It's time to pay the piper, Gusto. Not a moment too soon. I'm finally the greatest. My brilliance has been recognized. I gave up everything for this. Everything. Even my son. More the pity. But you can't run from the law forever, because the bills come due at last. Damn. Oh, excuse me. God, that hurt my throat. Miles really went cope. Mr. Gusto's all set for a trip downstairs, sir. Good. Which means it's your turn next, right? I suppose so. Judes. I'm so sorry, everybody. I've caused you all so much trouble. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing Mr. Gusto to justice at last. I'm afraid there's no escaping the consequences of your actions, Miss Bound. But those actions were born of the legal mistakes that were made all those years ago. We all know that. I have so many questions about the Go Gusto uses. And part of me questions if it's even dough. So allow me to apologize in return, on behalf of the prosecution. Oh no, I have no one to blame but myself for it all. Starting with those sculptures. Hey, Judes. You think Maybe you might want me to represent you? I'm not some nervous newbie anymore. There's no way I'm letting you take rap for everything. Oh, I'd be honored. Thank you, Mr. Fender. Aww. Yeah, I feel like she's not gonna get slapped with too much. She did commit a crime by hiding evidence, but I feel like there's some good arguments there to get her off. Sorry, ma'am, but you gotta come with me now. Of course. Judge Gavel, why did you lie to us? Lie? What are you talking about? You implied that there was no case for a retrial, but as we've proven, that wasn't true. Yeah, no, the most I see is Judy getting like 1 or 2 years, but I feel like she's probably gonna get like some form of parole and community service. I think she'll be fine. Her and Samson will get to be reunited soon enough, which is probably the best ending we can get from this case. Larry's just standing there off in the corner. Surely anyone truly committed to seeing justice done would have called one as soon as the body was found. Oh yeah, no, Gusto's going to prison for life. Dude will never see the sun. I am under no obligation to answer such questions. And you clearly have no intention of doing so either. Truly, you're proving to be quite a threat to the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. As such, you give me little choice but to report back on your continued transgressions. No doubt you will be called to appear before the committee in due course. Now, I must be on my way. What the heck? And after you caught the real killer and everything. Isn't that what prosecutors are supposed to do? Regardless of how it all may play out, I will never regret what we've accomplished here today. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, Sebby! Baby! Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? Why did you stick your nose in this case anyway? You weren't even on the job. No, Miles definitely can't be the prosecutor for Judy's case. That would certainly be a conflict of interest. He probably would be able to prosecute Gusto's case. Cause he has no like friendly relation to Gusto at all. So that one should be fine. But Judy's would definitely be a conflict of interest. My job is to bring the truth to light, Mr. DeBest. Not only as a prosecutor, but as a person. I don't get it. I wouldn't expect you to understand. Not as long as you believe that closing the case makes you the best. That's going way over my head. I'm going home. Me too, Febby. Me too. What was that all about? Sebastian still has a lot to learn, is all. Wisely. Yes? I just wanted to say old Craigie Pegleg would have been proud of you today. Oh, look at me tearing up. That end, thanks for helping poor Sammy people. Honestly, Eddie's been mostly fine this case. I don't
I don't really remember any moments where he was particularly creepy. He's been pretty good this case. I'm still being cautious here, but he seems to be getting better throughout the case. Of course. Sebastian, God, I love the writing they do. Ace Attorney is legitimately really good at writing complex characters. But I really love the writing they're doing for Sebastian. They're doing such a good job at showing that he's got problems that stem from how he was raised. The fact that he literally does not understand constructive criticism and criticism that's given to him in a kind and polite way tells so much about like how he was raised in so few words. Hey, Edgy! Looks like you cleared everything up, huh? So, what happened exactly? I was kind of busy sketching. Wait, where did Judy and Verity go? Wow. You really weren't paying attention, were you? Oh god, Larry. Larry, you've not been good this case. Larry, you've literally just been creepy towards women this whole case. Though I am loath to admit it, Larry's sketches did come through for us on more than one occasion. Not that I'm about to tell him that. Quit it with the glaring, will you? Whatever I did, I'm sorry. Calm down, Larry. I wasn't glaring at you. You totally were. You're just like that, Pop. You're just like your Pop. He was a terrible liar, too. He was? Wow, that's a heartbreaking line. Whoa. That line is 3 words, and it hurts. Edgeworth's literally not knowing that his dad wasn't a good liar because he didn't know his dad. Wow. Wow. 3 words, and that did so much. Listen, I'm gonna head out. Need to fill Samson in on what went down today. You wanna come with? Yes, of course. Great! Then I'm coming too. April 2nd, 4:56 p.m., Detention Center, Visitors Room. So, what's Mr. Tangro like? Can't wait to finally meet him. Oh, he's a real sweetheart. You'll love him. Even while locked up, he can't help but make all sorts of cookies and cakes for everyone. It's why 3 p.m. cake extravaganza is a thing for prisoners and guards alike. Really? That sounds awesome. You think there'll be any left for us to try? Didn't we find a few chocolate cakes in the prison the other day? Could they have been some of Mr. Tangro's baked goods? I am a little shocked we didn't get to even, like, hear vague mention of Tangro in the last case. Cummy! What are you doing here? I heard you were all coming to see Mr. Tangro, so I volunteered to escort him. Hello, new friends. I'm Samson Tangro. A prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, at your service. And I'm Mr. Edgeworth's trusty sidekick, Kay Faraday. It's very nice to meet you both. Miles here is Gregory's son. Is that so? Your father was very kind to me and fought so hard for my case. But in the end, I betrayed him. And I made a false confession, and don't worry, Mr. Tangro. Mr. Fender has explained everything to me. Sure did. And now we're here to tell you the truth about what happened 18 years ago. Yeah, no, Tangro's got the... Dude, can you... Can you imagine the absolute shitstorm that's gonna start the second Gusto gets arrested, like gets sentenced? Dude, people are gonna have words for him, and by words I mean fists. The truth? Judy did all that. For me. Crazy kid racked her brain for 18 years until she finally figured out how to set you free. What can I say? Turns out she really would do anything for you. Oh, Judy. I never did anything to deserve such devotion. Come now, Mr. Tangrao. I think we all know that's not true. The bond between the two of you has held strong for all these years, after all. You think so? I guess I'd better show him. Which piece of evidence is proof of the bond that Mr. Tangrao and Mr. Bonch and Miss Fawn share? I am going to check the walkthrough because this one doesn't matter and I feel so sad every time I get these wrong. Chocolates. I thought it would be the chocolates. But I was too scared to press anything because I always get sad when I get these wrong.
Take that!
Those chocolates. Judy made them, didn't she? Yes, she did. They're super delicious and sweet. Miss Brown continued making them just as you taught her, even after that fateful day. So there would always be some waiting for you when you finally came home. That is so sweet and hurts so much. Samson, best father in the Ace Attorney series, outside of like Edgeworth and Phoenix parenting their gaggle of children. But like, dude, that's what I've seen from Ace Attorney. Is every adoptive parent is fucking incredible. Biological ones suck. Judy. Oh. I bet they're beyond super sweet then, aren't they? Very much so, I'm afraid. I only wish we could hand them to you. Don't worry, sir. I'll make sure he gets them later. Which would be a clear breach of prison policy. Not that I have the authority to stop him, anyway. Aww. Thank you very much. Dude, again, Ace Attorney is so good with music. This music is incredible. I'm tearing up. This is so sweet. You know, Detective, something about you reminds me of Detective Bad. Really, pal? Cause I look up to him a lot. He's my role model. You don't say. It seems fate likes to bring people of all sorts together, huh? You hang in there, Samson. Just a little longer. I should be able to get you out soon. I'm sorry it's taken so long. Nobody should have to wait 18 years to get justice. I wanna give Samson a hug. He looks like he would give the best hugs. Don't be silly, Eddie. I'm the one who should be saying sorry. Or rather... Thank you. Truly. Samson. Well, I guess it's my turn to wait for Judy to come home now. I better make sure there's something delicious on the table for her when she finally walks through that door. Don't let me down, Eddie. Leave it to me, big guy. Aww. God, Judy better only get, like, a week in prison. I want them to be reunited. You know how Ace Attorney does the little, like, what are they up to thing at the end of every game? I can't wait for this one just so I can hopefully see them happy. I want them to be happy. Did she talk to me right this case? Cause if he doesn't make, cause if he didn't make them be happy, I'm gonna throw a brick at his house or something. That's a joke, by the way. No one, that's a joke. I'm making a joke here. I also don't even know if this was one of the games he wrote or if he didn't write this one. The IS-7 incident has been the IS-7 incident. It's been 18 long years, but the case we'd inherited from my father is finally coming to a close. Hey, Miles. Thanks for today. And sorry for forcing you to make the final call like that. Not at all. I simply made the call that felt right to me.
Huh? What are you guys talking about?
Miles? Dude, Miles' dedication to breaking any amount of generational trauma is so good. I love the writing for Eighth Attorney, legitimately. You know how Samson was wrongfully convicted? We had to pretend that he wasn't in order to nail Gusto, but to use his false conviction against him, even to save him. As his lawyer, I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah. I can see that.
But now that Gusto is behind bars, I can finally start to get that wrongful conviction overturned. Yes, and I'm sure you will.
Wait a minute. Does this mean that even if you were only doing what's right, the false conviction had been overturned? If the false conviction had been overturned before today, Mr. Gusto would have gotten away scot-free? Yep. It's what we folks in the trade like to call legal contractions. The law is far from perfect. Because of things like legal contradictions, right?
Yeah, but you never know. Things might change. The law's always evolving, just like humans. Your Uncle Eddie and Miles Roney included, am I right? The potential for growth and change. People in the law, huh? So, Miles, are you gonna keep fighting crime as a prosecutor? Or help people as an attorney? Prosecutors are also attorneys, by the way! Ace Attorney really... this is the back and forth with my enjoyment of the writing of these games. Fucking incredible at the emotional moments. That is such a wrong sentence, though. Ace Attorney loves to treat prosecutors like they're not also attorneys. There's the defense and the prosecution. They're defense attorneys and prosecuting attorneys. They are both attorneys. It's not one or the other. Prosecutors are prosecuting attorneys. Something tells me you got a big decision ahead of you. Only you can answer. I know. Well, let's just say I won't complain if you show up at the office one day. And on that note, it's time for me to skedaddle. I owe you big time, and I always repay my debts. But for now, thanks again for today. I mean it.
Did he seem kind of in a hurry to get out of here to you?
He did. But honestly speaking, I'm the only one who owes him a debt of gratitude. After all, he gave me the chance to reckon with my father's final case. When I was a boy, all I ever dreamed of was becoming an attorney like my father. But then, during my time with Mr. Von Karma, I learned the way of the prosecutor instead. Eventually, with the help of some good friends, I found my own voice and a new way to live. Good friends! Sure, you mean your boyfriend, Phoenix, right? But now my career as a prosecutor is at risk of being taken away from me. It might be time to take another long, hard look at how I want to live my life, whether I like it or not. April 2nd. Edgeworth & Co. Law Office. Hey, Gregory. Sorry for reporting in so late. Oh! Oh, I don't know why this one hit me so hard. Oh. It may have taken... Oh! That's Gregory's coat and hat. God! Oh! Oh! Oh, ow. But we're finally in a position to prove Samson's innocence. All thanks to your boy, Miles. I couldn't have done it without him. You should have seen him. The way he fought for the truth gave me chills. It was like I was watching you. Oh! Look, no, I'm not half the attorney you were, but those guiding principles you tried to instill in me, I like to think I'm embodying them now, as I carry on your legacy. Here's hoping. Oh! 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 Ace Attorney, why are you so good at writing emotion? I don't want to like Eddie, but this is really making me like Eddie. Your boy will be joining me in that soon. Am I going to fight crime as a prosecutor, or help people as an attorney? What is the right answer? Which path should I choose? The end. Turnabout Legacy. For completing episode 3 of Ace Attorney Investigations. God. Oh, my heart. Turnabout Forsaken. Oh, I want to look at... hold on. We're not starting that today. It's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. I have dinner soon, and I've been going for 3 hours, and my throat hurts. But we will, maybe... I'm not sure if I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I might stream more Ace Attorney tomorrow. But if not tomorrow, definitely next Monday will be more Ace Attorney. Oh, I'm so excited for Turnabout Forsaken. And then Turnabout for the Ages. It's Kay and then Sebastian on the covers. Oh, I'm so excited. This case was incredible. There were some moments that had the usual Ace Attorney, I want to bash my head into the wall for 15 straight minutes here. Like, there are some points in cross-examinations that can get exhausting. And this case had its fair share. But all in all, I think it was really good. That ending, dude. That ending was heartbreaking. The fact that Eddie has kept, dude. This is in the gallery. Dude, the fact that Eddie has kept Gregory's hat and coat for these past 18 years is heartbreaking. And it's not just that he kept them. He didn't keep them and, like, put them in storage or something. He kept them and hung them up exactly where Gregory would. Not that picture. And these pictures, God. Edgeworth and Gregory look so similar to each other. Which makes sense because they're father and son, but, like... it's heartbreaking, dude. The absolute this case really is, I'm in the gallery, hold on right now. This case really is so much of parents being either, like, this case has so much to do with parents, because it focuses a lot on Gregory's legacy. It's called Turnabout Legacy for a reason. It focuses so much on Gregory's legacy and how Edgeworth is and isn't following in his footsteps. And there's so much focus on Gusto and his relationship to his son. And then obviously Samson and his relationship with Judy and her care for him as her adoptive father. It's genuinely so good and so heartbreaking. Gusto is such a shit dad, and then Gregory and Edgeworth are not Edgeworth. Gregory, Edgeworth, and Samson are such good fathers to their respective children that it's genuinely a little heartbreaking. That, like, this game is so good, man. And I'm so excited to play the next case, which we will be starting the next time I stream. My next stream will be case 4. So I do hope you all enjoyed my finale of case 3. And thank you all for joining me for this.